Welcome to another episode of Temple Touch, the weekday devotion to inspire you, increase your faith, and encourage you to serve the Lord with all your heart, mind, and strength. Today's lesson comes from 1 Samuel chapter 30, verse 6, which says, "And David was greatly distressed, for the people spoke of stoning him, because the soul of all the people was grieved, every man for his sons and for his daughters. But David encouraged himself in the Lord his God." Today's thought is, encourage yourself in the Lord. From the background of the story, David was having a really bad day, a day that most of us have probably never experienced before. As he and his men returned home from fighting one enemy in battle to protect their homes and families, another enemy had crept into their city while they were away. The enemy, the Amalekites, burned David's city to the ground, stole all of their possessions, and took their wives and children as slaves. The enemy left only destruction and depression in their wake. If you want to talk about having a really bad day, this probably was it. David and his men wept until they had no strength left. Then, things turned from bad to worse as David's men began to claim that all of this misfortune was David's fault and they were about to rebel against him and stone him to death, when David did something interesting. The story said that David encouraged himself in the Lord. Before David could fight again, he would have to get his strength and courage back. From what we know of David, it's easy to guess how David went about encouraging himself. He probably took his harp, retreated to a quiet place, and began to sing songs of praise to God. No doubt, David didn't feel like singing, but he did it anyway because he knew that God always inhabits the praises of his people, and that once God showed up, things would change. Through David's time of praise and worship on the grassy hillside that cool evening, David changed his focus. With each song he sang about the goodness and mercies of God, his faith was restored and his strength returned as his spirit was lifted above his present circumstances into the presence of the one who is high and lifted up. When David got up and returned to his men, he was different now because he had victory already in his heart. The story ends with David gaining victory over his enemies. There are times when things don't often go right in our lives, times when we too become discouraged, distressed, and downhearted because of the chances that we face. And sometimes there isn't anyone around to really help us. But that's the right time to do what David did and encourage ourselves in the Lord by worshiping and praising the God who is bigger than anything we face. When you feel down, turn on your CD player, turn on your phone player, listen to and sing along with songs that worship God, and I guarantee you, your heart will be encouraged. Thank you for listening to today's Temple Touch. Have a blessed day.